What's good, YouTube? This is Ray Jarrell. So in today's video, I want to show you guys one of the best goal line offenses in Madden 23. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go in and sub and turn those post notifications on. So first and foremost, I am in the Packers offensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Packers offensive playbook. Now, don't mind why I chose the Steelers. It's for a couple reasons, just kind of show you basically an average team. Now Mitchell Trubisky does have 84 speed, which I'll mention that here again in a second, but you really, for personnel, just want to put two great running backs, or you could put a tight end. Normally I like running backs because they are going to be a little bit faster, so that's why I do have Benny Snell and I have Najee Harris. Now they're not speed demons by any means, and it's really important actually I do show you this on the depth chart really quick. I want you guys to just see, you know, their speed and to see the quarterback speed. So notice Trubisky has 84 speed, like we said, 87 excel, and for halfback you see Najee has 88, and Snell, we're actually gonna put in Jalen Warren. Actually we'll put in Jeremy McNicholas. He actually is going to be the better fit, so we're actually going to throw him in. But you really want speed right there, and I'm just using these two guys because they are average. And so imagine if you have faster running backs, how good this would be. But you guys, we'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So first and foremost, the play that we're gonna be talking about is shovel option. But as far as audible goes, I like to add outside zone to it as well, because I like to alternate between inside zone split and outside zone, and then the shovel option, and then the passing play that I love is jet angle. But I'm gonna show you how we scheme this all together. So let's go ahead and come out in shovel option, because that's what you want to come out in. Now for defense, I'm gonna show you goal line, and I'm going to show you 3-4, because that's mostly what you'll see when you're inside the red zone. As far as like inside the 10 or 5 yard line, you're going to see 3-4 odd, or you're going to see goal line. So first and foremost, I'm gonna go over goal line. The most popular one is 6-2, and outside of that, it's normally the 60 out jacks. Normally is what I see. Sometimes you'll see just 60 pinch, but most of the time it is 60 out jack. So that's kind of what I'm gonna base this around. Now for goal line, this play is perfect for goal line, because we're gonna be able to just get outside the pocket. Now what's really important is this is a shovel option, so you have the option to either flick it to R1 or triangle, but when you snap the ball, it's gonna say L1 or R1. So notice how it's R1 for him, and then it's L1 actually for the other guy. Now it's extremely important that you please pay attention if you want to run this offense, because what's important is how you have your finger placement, and also which direction you put the analog stick in when you snap the ball. So if you can kind of see me, mine, I like to have it, this is my R1, which is who flicks it to this guy right here, R1, and then L1 of course is going to flick it to this guy. So I like to hold it just for this play. I like to hold it to where I'm kind of hovering these two buttons right here, and then having my finger on L1. So this is L1, this is R1. Let me see if I can kind of show you this. So as soon as you snap the ball, you want to go straight hard that way. So you want to do like a straight line between Trubisky and McNicholas. You almost want to act like you're trying to run right where he is. So notice on snap the ball, I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to flip the ball that way. And if you do it right, it actually glitches the person out. So if you don't, if they don't click on them, then you can actually just pretty much walk into the end zone basically. So what I was trying to explain this whole time is you want to go in a straight line. So you don't want to go up the field, or it's going to mess up the angle. So also notice how this guy's going to kind of shuffle, and even though that's his man, he's in man coverage, he just doesn't play it properly. It's kind of like a glitch, and if you time it up right, Mitchell Trubisky or whoever your quarterback is will actually turn into a lead blocker, as you can tell. Sometimes he'll block him, sometimes he won't, but it's just really glitchy, man. Sometimes people will spread their line too, and they'll use it at linebacker. So again, you want to go as if you're trying to run right into McNicholas, like you literally look like you're trying to run him over. Now when you do that, this is the angle you get, of course, and then also you can flip it, but only flip it if it's wide open. So again, also I'm gonna show you passing concepts and stuff too, so if you don't feel comfortable with this, you could put a whole scheme together, and I'm gonna show you that in this video. So what I was trying to get you to understand is if you go this way, it's kind of harder to throw this pass. You have to throw it right now, but I would never throw this. So why? Because I see people. So the only time you want to throw this ball is if there is literally nobody there, because you run the risk of doing what I just did right here, where you're gonna throw it at the lineman. So when I run this play, I almost always love to look between R1 and running with my quarterback, mostly until the user starts bringing his user out here. Then I'll start flicking it inside. So you know, don't get caught up in that aspect. Now I'm gonna flip the play real quick, because you also can run it to this side. So when you run it to this side, it's gonna be the same thing. You want to hold the analog stick like I'm trying to run directly into McNicholas over here. So we're gonna hold that line, and then the longer you wait, sometimes you get glitches. Notice how that time Mitchell Trubisky did block, but we weren't able to get that many yards. So Yeah, that's what I love to do out of this. Now also I think the outside zone does work against this defense. I'm not sure, but normally any goal line, run the pitch, because it's just going to be way better. So notice the outside zone, it all depends on, you know, if you get good blocking out there or not, but it's normally better if you take that outside. So that's everything from goal line, because really you'll be good with just this on goal line. It's such a great play. Sometimes you can even take it and outrun that guy. It all depends on who you have at quarterback. But sometimes you can't outrun him, but I always like to pitch it. So you can tell we could have just kept going with it. But what we're about to do is actually going 3-4 odd. But yeah, normally I don't suggest pitching and just keep running with your quarterback. But what I'm actually about to do is go 3-4 odd, because that's what you'll mostly see. I just wanted to show you that, so in case you get goal line, then you can run that play, you know, endlessly, honestly, because they just can't get outside with their user. So normally, now if they start trying to get outside with their user, just run outside zone and then cut it up inside, if that makes sense, because they'll be trying to go outside. So I'll kind of explain that to you when we go 3-4 odd, just so I don't have to keep going back and forth. But let's go to the meat and potatoes of this. So what I'm gonna do is I have pinch bucko, because you're either gonna get pinch bucko, you're gonna get cover 3, you're gonna get cover 2, or you're gonna get cover 4 drop. Normally I've never played nobody that ran cover 1 robber in the red zone. Normally it's all out man blitz, it's cover 4 drop, cover 3 or cover 2. That's all I ever run into. So I want to prepare you guys for the majority of the community. So we're gonna come out and cover 4 drop. Now cover 4 drop, actually I'm gonna put the cursor on this cornerback, so that way nobody can just be standing still. So in 3-4 odd, it really just depends, but no matter what, you just want to read. So I'm reading, and if you don't know, it's always better to just flick the ball to R1. And one thing I noticed, you really don't fumble that much as you think you would, but that's one thing I do like about it. But you'll go and notice that, look at what I was telling you about, notice how that guy just completely glitched out. That does happen, so don't think that's just a practice mode thing. That actually does happen. And I'm on all Madden practice mode as well. Let me actually just show you guys that, for those of you guys that are still here. And I'm put together this passing concept that I like at the end, but I want you to know for a fact that I am on all Madden practice mode, all Madden competitive, you know. And I just wanted to show you, just because it's wild, honestly. And imagine if it was all pro or something, like what online games are played on. So again, the best way I like to use this is to pitch it late. And look at this, he's just literally shuffling. So if your opponent does not click on, which some people don't click on that fast, and that's 2 times in a row that happens, so that should tell you that yes, it does happen. It's kind of a glitch basically, because just look, literally there's no reason for this guy to be shuffling. Everybody else is pursuing the ball, but he's the one actually responsible for him in the run fit. So that's why, I don't know, it just glitches him out like that. I don't understand it. Now if they click on it, may be able to snap him out of that glitch, but I'm not really sure. Now if you want the option to pitch L1, you definitely can. Let's see if we can get it here. So notice that time we didn't get it. Why? Because the lane wasn't clear. Now you can change up how you go, and it'll change up how this guy gets open. So instead of going towards him, we can actually aim it to go towards right here. So we'll aim our controller, you know, like up a little bit, and you can change the angle to here. But the only thing about that is that it changes everything. So notice how we go up, and then we kind of get that little half step. But if you notice also, we kind of get good quarterback animations when we go up. So if you want to go up, you can kind of treat this like a quarterback power, if you will. So you just kind of aim straight and then kind of cut up in the hole. Now this is really risky, especially if the user's on the linebacker. You're really running the risk of somebody blowing up the gap on you. But if they're playing any type of zone, normally you're going to be fine. You can try to take it there, come up with it, you know, do whatever. So anyways, moving forward, that is code for drop, because I want to get through this video. So let's talk about pinch bucko. Now most people will just press and they'll run it this way. Now with pinch bucko, it's going to be the same thing. Anytime man coverage is involved, somebody's going to be responsible for nickels. So that's what we're looking at. And then notice how here we could flip it late, and then look at Mr. Trubisky. Normally if you time it up right, he will throw that block, and it's going to be extremely hard for a user to get out there. And if they start trying to take their user out there, what I was trying to tell you is I like the audible to outside zone. I like to double team the D tackle. It don't really matter who your ID is in Mike. I just love to double team the tackle. And what you're going to do is any user that's going out there trying to fly out there, we're literally just going to stick our foot in the ground and go straight up like it's a halfback dive. And I promise you, the user will fly out there, and then we'll have a free lane. So I know some of you guys are thinking, hey, Real, what if they just take their user, you know, and just go here on the snap of the ball? If they do that, and you notice they're taking their user and doing that, just literally come back and run inside, you know, outside zone, cut it straight up. Now, next thing I want to take a look at, we're going to do man coverage one more time. We're going to press. And I'm just doing this so you can see the consistency of it. It's such a great play. Sometimes that even happens too, where they kind of bump into each other, and then you can take the ball, get down to even the 1 yard line. So really great versus that. Now next thing I want to show you is what it looks like versus cover 3. Cover 3 is the hardest one, because notice how in cover 3 they added an extra man on that side of the field, so it makes it a little bit harder, but we can actually still throw it, and look, we actually still are able to glitch the guy out. So what's important, I forgot to mention, is when you do this, you want to hold R2. So as soon as you snap the ball, that's why before you snap the ball, you want to already have it aimed that way, and you already want to be ready to hold R2. So as soon as you snap the ball, let me see if I can show you. So as soon as you snap it, we're going to press R2, and then we're going to just flick that ball, and then he's going to go out there and get a great block. So really important that you hold that excel and the direction at the same time, because if you don't, you're going to get something that looks like this if you don't. So notice, okay, well actually it still works. So maybe you don't need the excel. Maybe you don't need it. You just need to make sure your analog stick is pointed in the right direction, you know, because you can actually do some weird stuff. So you can actually come right here and then you know, just kind of flick it. Now don't do that, because you probably will throw a pick, because you definitely can accidentally, but you can kind of do, you know, you can kind of play around with this if you wanted to. So notice how, like I say right there, you can throw a pick if you're not careful, like if you don't look. But yeah, man, that's just me BSing around. So anyways, last thing I want to show you is cover 2, because I want to show you how they react. That's why I'm taking the time to show you this, just so you can know just kind of like how everything would go. So notice how the late pitch, this play is really good when you can pitch it late. Honestly, it's not good if you pitch it early, because if you pitch it early, I'll kind of show you what happens. So notice, I tried to pitch it early, but they actually just didn't even let me. So it's just better just to run towards, well, run in a straight line and then pitch the ball. But anyways, I know I spent 11 minutes talking about a run play. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll fly through this passing concept. So the play we're looking at is jet angle. Now we'll start at the top. So a universal setup that I like, well, I have one for man coverage and I have one for zone. For zone, what I like to do is actually take circle right here, excuse me, put them on a hitch, and then I like to take X right here, put them on drag. I had to think of my setup, my bad, y'all. So I like it right here, X on the drag, circle on the hitch, and what's going to happen is you're going to make a 1-2 read between circle and triangle, and I'll show you that right here. So I'm going to show you why I say 1-2 read. So notice how right there, triangle, he is always going to break late, always. So what that means is it depends on where the user is. So normally if the user is on this side, which normally they will be, why? Because we've been running the ball all that direction, so normally they are going to be on this guy. So if they're on that guy, they're going to have to kind of cover this. If they don't cover this, we can actually lowball that if this guy is not here. I know it looks like close right here, so if they have an ability, be careful, but normally you can lowball that. Or if they don't have a hard flat, sometimes you can come out here and throw this. Sometimes it all depends on if they have a hard flat. Now sometimes this guy will keep running too, and you'll be able to throw that at the back of the end zone, but you're really just making a 1-2 read right here between this guy, and then you're waiting on the running back to actually clear, because nobody is going to be able to cover this spot of the field, nobody, unless they're in some type of match. So anyways, you can have that drag route if it's late. So one thing I will show you real quick too is I'm gonna spy this guy. I don't know reason I'm spying him, so I can just drift that way in the pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that again. So we're gonna go X on the drag, we're gonna go circle on the hitch, and then now if they're blitzing, then just block R1, but I like to leave them out, because if you block them, this hitch route won't get open like we want to. But anyways, I just want to show you this right here. So kind of watch what happens. Watch square. Sometimes you, oh no, he did stop. Okay, sometimes he will stop, sometimes he don't, but you can always have X though, so don't, you know, unless they call hard flat, you know, don't worry about it. You should have X most of the time. So what we're gonna do, go to cover 2, and what we're gonna do is set up the same thing. And like I said, I really like running the ball down here, you know. I don't prefer you to pass it. This is just if you want to mix it up, maybe it's a tough situation, you think they may run commit, you know, this is when I like this. So anyways, look at circle, and then you want to come back, and then Jesus, if I don't get to throw out a sack, but you want to look at triangle. Now the only thing that's close is that mid read, but normally they're going to be user in that mid read. So normally I like to actually read the tight end. Most of the time it's really just between the tight end and triangle normally, but like I said, it literally just depends, because sometimes you can have it. Or look at square. Of course they aren't gonna let me throw that, but anyways, I really like this versus man coverage. So versus man, what we're gonna do is be able to block our running back, because most people will man blitz you, and then we're gonna take square, put him on the drag, then we're gonna take circle, put him on the slant, and then excuse me, X on the drag, circle on the slant, and then square on the drag. There we go. So X on the drag, square on the drag, circle on the slant, and in this way we can actually just create a dot between circle, square, and triangle. So normally it's going to be between square and triangle normally. So just kind of look at square. Normally he's going to be able to get a win animation on that drag, or the tight end will normally be able to, or you can have the running back. So preferably I would suggest you to save this for man coverage. If they run zone, literally just run the ball, because zone works so well. I mean, zone doesn't work as well inside the red zone, so it's easier to run the ball with this particular offense. But if they play man coverage and you're having trouble running it, then I really love this concept. So, which I probably should have started off saying that. If they run zone, I'm 1000% running the ball, to be honest with you, because this offense is built for that. But if it's man, I really love this play, because what's going to happen is most of the time people are going to press. So I will show you what it looks like when they press and don't get free releases. But normally, even if they forget to press, you'll normally have a 1-2 between this drag, that drag, and then you know, the running back angle route normally. So last thing I'll do before I end the video, because I know this has been a 15-minute video, and I appreciate all you guys that are here. We're gonna go to jet angle, block our running back, drag X, take circle, Jesus, put him on a slant, and then we're gonna drag square. Here we go, right here. And normally, like I said, you just want to see who can win. So square right there, and then sometimes you can't have triangle. It literally depends on who's covering. Now right there, they do have a safety who is just better than him. Now another setup that I like versus man too, if you don't like making that kind of read right there, what I like to do, it all depends on matchups, but if I have a good matchup on this side or this side, then I'll take either one of those guys and put them on a zig. So for example, square, I have a good matchup with square, so I would take him and put him on a zig. And then if I do that, then I really like to run this play stock, and I'll block my running back. And now I'm looking between square, then circle, and then triangle late. So like I said, it all just depends on, you know, who's right there. So sometimes we can have it, sometimes we don't, but you give yourself a chance to have man beaters on the field. And sometimes also, if you have a great tight end, I like to leave this route right here, the out route. It's just a regular out route, but it depends on who you have running. Now all Madden practice mode, they're going to do a great job of bracketing that off, but it's not always like that, as you guys know, especially when they run back in the end zone like that. A lot of times you can't have that, but in an actual game scenario, I would actually try this out here, right here. If I can get on them, I would actually try that, just because a lot of times you will get contact and you can still throw that easily. But you know, they just kind of just bullied old dude right there. Didn't nobody touch him really. But anyways, man, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I just really wanted to bring this to you guys. Some of you guys may like it, some of you guys may not. I actually really like it. It works really well in game, and I really, if you want to be honest, I don't really pass the ball out of it, but I was just kind of giving you some ideas if you like passing it. I love this as far as a you know, just the offense that you could just run, you know, like you could just come here, pitch the ball, and a lot of times you may get tackled even on a 1 or so, then you can go to your actual goal line and run fullback dive and all that. But it's a really great offense for, you know, these type of, you know, distances right here, where you're like first and goal at the, you know, 6 or 7, or, you know, something like that. You know, like if you were right here, then it gives you an easy way to, you know, kind of move the ball without having to throw it, or without having to keep running inside zone, basically. So that's why I like it. You know, sometimes you can even run past that guy. You know, sometimes that does happen if you flip it late, but you'll learn that as you go along. But anyways, I promise you that's all, man. I appreciate all you guys that are here. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.